Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TM87. It'll always be swagger to us.
Yeah, don't let anyone taunt you about that one.
As always, I'm your host Rayad, joined by my co-host Anthony and one doubles himself. How we doing, fellas?
Big chillin', bro. It's been a good 2 weeks since we last were on the pod, but we got a lot to talk about. A lot's been going on in the VGC world and elsewhere.
Yeah, same here. It's been a pretty chill 2 weeks. Looking forward to a little bit of a new direction the podcast apparently is taking, and chatting with all of you.
I mean, look, we can only talk about Pokemon so much, right? We got lots to talk about today. We got pre-Orlando, then we have post-Orlando regionals, but then after that, we're free to branch out and discuss whatever we want to talk about, right?
No, I think as a podcast, like I enjoy talking about Pokemon, yes, but there's a whole bunch more that we could talk about, and people that know us from our regular lives, they might be more interested in some other things other than Pokemon. So we just want to expand a little bit on our topics so everyone can enjoy the podcast a little bit more.
And also, if we branch out to other topics, it allows our audience to kind of get to know us more personally too, because we can talk about a lot of other stuff, personal lives, whatever else is going. And it allows us to bring in a bunch of guests too. Whoever wants to come on, they're free to come on. They don't have to be specifically Pokemon related.
Right, that's the thing. Pokemon, while it's an aspect of our life, it's a small aspect. I feel like there's a lot more to us as people than just the competitive nature of Pokemon. We all took a 5-year break from the game recently, so there's a lot that's happened in those 5 years. We have other interests, so I feel like it would be good to talk about more things than just VGC.
Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, we're going to talk about the things that we are very interested in, whether it's gaming, Pokemon, and we just hope that you guys, are here to chill with us and have a good time. So yeah, let's look forward to it.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it. We can talk about the current event that's happening right now. We got Misty's back in the anime.
Yeah, y'all. I know y'all don't be watching anime, but this is for my boy Shane.
We don't be watching the anime.
This is for my boy Shane. I know you're listening, but Misty's back, bro. Pokemon Journeys.
Hey, Misty was cool. Misty was cool, bro. Misty was cool.
But if you watch the Pokemon anime, check it out. They're bringing back the OG.
Wait, I have a question. So there was I saw like a clip, right? Ash was like on the podium receiving his trophy, whatever, and then like it panned to like red and blue, like watching. Was that a real clip or was that?
Nah, that's some fan made shit. That shit was cool, bro.
I was so excited.
That shit was cool.
I was so excited. Shit? I was like, that's something that would make me watch. That's some real anime shit right there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
That'd be
cool. As a non-anime watcher, I know that Ash's face has looked different over the years, and I guess lately it's I feel like it's more round these days. How are they doing Misty since she's coming back? And you know about anything?
Well, one thing that they've done over the years is they changed the art style a little bit season to season. So they kind of just took her original look and just made it in the current Pokemon Journeys art style. It looks pretty much the same as OG Misty, just with an updated paint, I guess, to reflect this new art style.
How long has the anime been going on for?
Since the game's been out, bro. 20, yeah, if not longer, yeah.
Was it 96 Pokemon came out? That was the first year.
Yeah.
That was the year I was born.
27 years, bro.
As low as I am. That's crazy. I should have came out the womb practicing for VGC, bro. I didn't know.
Might have a chip.
No. I might have a chip.
Nah, this man's dragging it, bro.
I started 11 years later, bro. I started too late.
Nah, you dragging it, bro.
Wait, why'd I get cooked like that, bro?
Nah. Pokemon's one of those games where I feel like anyone can come out of the woodworks to kind of get decent at it,
That's true. There's a learning, okay, so I think the floor isn't very high, right? Like you can, as long as you understand how Pokemon works, like you can get very good within like 6 months. But then to reach like the highest like echelon of gameplay, like it takes a while. Like that takes a while for you to get to. Like some people just never even get there because it takes a lot of practice, a lot of discipline to like consistently make good decisions.
No, definitely. I also feel like it takes a different mindset for the game. I feel like I was playing this game wrong for the last X years. I think I probably learned how to kind of approach the game a little better this season, to be honest, and I feel better as a player because of it. But I don't quite have the results yet. Hopefully by the end of the season we'll have a big finish. We'll
Hey,
see.
don't sell yourself short, bro, because you got a little bit coming up later, man. You got a good run in this
Yeah,
Bros tournament that we're
I
gonna
got a
talk
little
about.
taste of it. I got back a cut of a big thrower, so hopefully,
Right. Don't sell yourself short.
that's just a preview of more to come for this season. Also, they got something big going on with Pokemon this week. Wolfe's hosting a big streamer invitational tournament with like streamers like Ludwig, Saikuno, Lil Pichu. It's gonna be commentated by Aaron Zhang, Aaron Trailer, and Rosemary. I think this is gonna be pretty big for our scene, just to get a lot of new viewers and a bigger audience looking and talking about VGC.
So these streamers, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really follow too many of them. Are they all PokeTubers, or are they like a wide variety?
So that's the thing. I don't think any of these streamers primarily focus on Pokemon at all. Like Ludwig is a Smash Melee streamer. Well, that's what he started as. Now he's like a variety streamer. Saikuno does variety. He blew up during the whole Among Us thing, and then everyone loves him. And Lily Pichu is one of she's in the same content creation group as Pokimane. Forgot what it's called, but they're all like variety streamers. They don't just play one particular game, and I haven't seen a focus in Pokemon for any of them.
So the streamer invitational, it's they're gonna be streaming Pokemon.
Yeah, no, they're all playing VGC.
They're all playing. So, but I mean, are these guys like experienced in the VGC scene, or are they just it's just for like content creation?
So last year,
Cool.
Wolf did a whatchamacallit? He did a similar invitational last year, in which he had a bunch of different streamers. They were mostly Melee players, it's Smash Bros players, and they teamed up with a coach, and they kind of taught him the ways of Pokemon, and then they threw him in an invitational tournament. And Ludwig won last year, so he's looking to defend his title.
Right, got it. I mean, I think this is really good for the VGC scene, especially because I mean those are a lot of wide audiences with big streamers. So at the end of the day, this is looking pretty good for VGC. I hope that this just helps the community get more support, and just shines more of a light on Pokemon, as it's not like the most popular game, but it definitely holds a big piece of real estate in a lot of people's childhood in terms of just being familiar with the franchise.
No, yeah, definitely. I think getting more eyes on VGC in general is always good.
That's always a good thing.
Right, exactly. Gives better attendance at tournaments. Actually, to be honest, though, do we need better attendance? Like, look at our events lately, bro. We've been having 400 or 500 players every regional. Apparently, the Oceania internets got capped out at 200 and something players, which is trash because we just had, 3 regionals that had 500 people register for them in the first day. So it's like, what is TPCI doing?
Yeah, I saw a couple tweets about that. They definitely have to figure out a way to expand the internets, because that's way too few amount of people. There's no way that's good for the scene, because the scene is in a place right now where it's expanding very, very fast. There's a lot more people willing to go to these events and just want to experience what it is to go to a live event, and like what that whole experience is, because it is an experience. It's a whole thing, and a lot of people see like tweets about these events. They see like all these great tournament finishes, and they're thinking, oh, that could be me. I could top cut this event, and they want to try. So we have to give everyone this. I mean, obviously you have to cap it off at some point, but 200 is that's just way too low.
Yeah, definitely. Even our guy Sheldon here, he was trying to register for Orlando. Within half an hour, he couldn't, because that shit just filled up. Give our boy a chance to play. He's trying to get some of that bread.
Yeah. So the story behind that, guys, is pretty much Ant had sent the link to registration maybe around, I think, like around, what time did it open? Was it 9?
It opened at 9. I probably
Okay.
sent it like 9:15 because, to be honest, I fell asleep myself. I
Right.
was taking a
So
nap, and I sent it a little late. My bad.
no, it's not even that bad. I mean, by the time I checked it, which was, I think we were on Discord, like cooking like some kind of trash team that wouldn't win the regional, but I think around 11, I was trying to, no, I mean, let's be honest, bro. I don't think what we cooked that night is still even on our team builder. But anyways, back to it. I think I checked around 11, and I needed to get the info for my player to finish the registration, and then I ran into my Switch was just powered off. It had no battery. It took about 10 or 15 minutes for it to come online, and by the time it came online, registration was closed. So yeah, sucks to suck.
Wait, why did you need to go onto your Switch?
Oh, I needed my in-game name for my player. Like, I thought I knew what it was, but I didn't want to like write the wrong one, and then I don't know how that would work. I guess I could just do another submission for the tournament, but that would have been too much work. So yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. But I guess I ended up being sorry anyways. So yeah.
Yeah, this is why I just named my person Anthony. Super simple. It's always my name.
got it.
Yeah, but on to other news. Rad, I know this one affects you.
This one's gonna hit close to home.
That's what I was saying. You know, this one.
You're gonna make me cry. You're gonna make me cry.
The GOAT Scump retired from Optic last week.
I mean,
earlier than expected, you know.
Oh my god! For anyone that has followed the competitive Call of Duty scene, maybe even Call of Duty in general, you know who Scump is. He's a huge YouTuber, a huge streamer. He's great at whatever he does. I might be DS cheesing right now. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. If you follow Call of Duty, you know what it is. But he did retire. He was planning on retiring at the end of the season. He pulled the rug on us in the middle of January, so he's gone now. I did tear up during his retirement video, as did everyone else that watched it. And that's rough, and it has huge implications on the Call of Duty scene too, because that guy was literally solo carrying competitive Call of Duty, right? Like he was bigger than what the brand is of Call of Duty in general. So that it's gonna take a hit. It's gonna take a hit for sure. What's good about it though is that he's still remaining in the scene. He's not like that guy Nate Shot that kind of retired and just dipped, started his own company and doing very well for himself. But like he's doing Scump is now doing watch parties. He's getting more viewers on his watch parties than the actual Call of Duty stream, which that alone says enough, right? So, but he's still around. But yeah, I definitely did shed a tear when I watched that video.
Yeah, damn. I don't really follow Call of Duty and the competitive aspect very heavily, but I definitely knew Scump's name. I mean, yeah, if you asked me to name like 3 Call of Duty players, I mean, damn, it kind of sucks. Mostly like Optic names come to my head, but yeah, Scump would probably be the first guy I say. So yeah, I can imagine how I feel like Scump had a lot of impact on your gameplay itself, Rayad. And I think you took a lot away from watching him play.
Just like him, bro. I'm a crackhead.
Yeah.
He's that aggressive kind of submachine gun playstyle, and that's kind of what everyone like. I mean, there's some Call of Duty players, campers, that just like to sit in the back and pre-aim, but that's never been any of our playstyles. We love running and gunning, so Scump was the embodiment of our playstyle, so that's why we love him.
Nah, yeah, definitely not. I feel like Scump is the one big name from Call of Duty that I knew before I got into the CDL a couple years ago, but it's sad to see him go. But I'm glad that he could finally retire. Take a long-needed retirement tour. Just relax.
He was making bank too. Like he was only playing for the love of the game. There was no other reason why he was playing. So
for sure.
He can finally retire and stream, because the thing is, he was really good at Fortnite when it first dropped, right? And everyone knows that whoever like started off in Fortnite and just rode that wave when it came out, they blew up. Nick Merckx, right? Ninja, all those guys, they blew up strictly from Fortnite. And Scump was on that same trajectory, but he had to obviously stop playing Fortnite because he was a competitor in Call of Duty. So now he actually has the freedom to go and do whatever he wants to do. Streaming wise, the guy is entertaining as hell. Like he can literally turn on the camera and you're entertained. But it's good to see him doing what he's happy doing now.
Speaking of entertainers, you guys hear about this Drake concert at the Apollo this weekend?
I did hear about it.
Yes, sir.
I heard he made some classics.
I heard he went through his whole pretty much discography, playing every track from his first album to the most recent shit. And it was a free concert. You could only get in with a Sirius XM membership, and if they sent you free tickets. But it's cool, Drake giving back to the fans, having this free event, and then announcing that he's gonna be touring this summer. That's pretty dope too.
Oh, that's lit. Yeah, I didn't really look too much into the concert. I mean, I did, see it mentioned. But I got a question for her. When was the last time you guys just straight up draked, bro? When was the last time you?
When did we what?
Drake? When was the last time you were draking?
Today.
That's
What kind of question was that, bro?
I didn't expect. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't expect it. But all right, tell us about that.
No, okay. So wait. So what was I listening to today? I was listening to some 21 Savage Drake, bro. Like Broke Boys, Spin About You. Like those are like I wasn't like I wasn't Drake like Marvin's Room. Like come on, that's a
not the cups full of rose.
not. Oh man, yeah, no, I wasn't that deep in my bag, but yeah, I listen to Drake on the reg, bro. Not as much as The Weeknd, but still it's Drake.
Would you guys consider going to a Drake concert this summer?
Say no more.
Copy. I guess we might have to, get that going for the pod. Give you guys the review of the concert. Compare it to last year's Weekend concert that Ray and I went to. I mean, that shit was crazy.
No comparison. Stop. He's just doing that for content right now. There's no shot.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the conversation going.
Nah, bro. I still watch.
XO OVO. Come on now.
XO till we overdose, baby.
I guess. Do we want to move on? Start talking about some Pokemon.
I mean, there's lots to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. It's been an eventful 2 weeks. I guess we can get started with talking about Liverpool Regionals.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of salty people, a lot of X2s that miscut. That's a hot topic right now.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. They had 9 rounds of Swiss because they had 400 and something players. They had 500 that registered, but not everyone showed up. So they ended up having 9 rounds of Swiss, and you needed an 8-1 to be guaranteed cut. And then 7-2 gave you a chance, but 12 7-2s actually missed the top 30. Was it top 32 cut?
It was a top 32 cut, yes. Just chiming in here on the Liverpool Regional. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little disappointed with the diversity of teams that top cut. I mean, when I say this, I mean, you guys can give me your feedback. But I feel like, and it's to be expected. But a lot of the teams are what we saw that did well at San Diego. I mean, I guess that makes sense and all, but like just looking at the top cut sheet, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Don Dozo took over.
I think yeah, Don Dozo and Rain teams just ran it. I mean, that's all I see all over the place. It was like a lack of like anything. Like it seemed like players either one just wanted to stick with what worked, or two didn't even care to make a difference on like or try to counter what they thought might come. They were, or maybe those teams were just that good.
Yo, look at the bottom right of the bracket. Those were all variants of, I believe it was Jody's team, right? Or the Palafin, the Pelipper, the Salamence, and the King Gambit Golango. Look at that. Like that team. I mean, they put them against each other for most of it, but there's a bunch of that. Look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 6 or 7 of that, of a variant of that team. Like that team was very, very good. Like Rain came out and dominated. Even at San Diego, it did so well in cut. And then at Liverpool, it proved there's probably no answers to it. I mean, obviously it didn't win, but it made it all the way to cut, which is good.
I don't know if there was no answers. I mean, a lot of people were talking shit about Murkrow, but Murkrow won the event. Everyone's saying, "Yo, Pelipper's the best bird." I know the Tub Takes crew with Adi and Jody and all those goons, they're saying that Pelipper was the guy, but Murkrow ended up winning the whole event, and it's Eviolite Murkrow with Quash, Tailwind, Haze on a Dondozo team though, which is very interesting. And,
that might be a Luca diff though. I don't know if it's a Murkrow diff. It could be a Luca diff, bro.
We had Miluka win San Diego, and now Luca Paz won Liverpool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so continuing on that Murkrow in the winning team, what's the function there? I mean, do you think like it's being brought against like other Dozo teams? I mean, there's a hell of a lot of Dozo teams. I can see that being the use, but like just I'm talking internally. Like I guess it can help with Trick Room. Tailwind with Goldango could be good. I just don't really. I mean, hey, he won the format, so props to him. But I also didn't watch the event live, so I'm just looking at it raw. I'm just trying to see, where does it work?
I mean, I definitely think it's for the mirror match. The other 4 Mons besides the Dondozo, Tatsugiri, they're solid Mons. Luca had the Murkrow, he had Specs Goldango, he had Dragonite, and then he also had the Revival Blessing with the Palmut. So I think these are all Pokemon that can function very well if you're not using the Dondozo combination. And Murkrow just allows you to beat the opposing Dondozos relatively easy, while you have 3 Mons that just hit like trucks. And you have the ability to bring back a Mon as well if you lose one.
I think his Dragon had a very interesting set too. I don't think he ran Dragon Claw on it. He ran like Low Kick, Stomping Tantrum, I believe, which, I mean, that allows you to hit Golden Goal pretty hard, which is, I'm assuming, his goal. Golden Goal is the number 1 used Mon in the format so far. So that, I mean, I think he just had really good techs on the same.
Yeah, definitely. It was an AV Dragonite with, like you said, Stomping Tantrum and Low Kick, and also had Terra Blast with Terra Flying, which gives Dragonite, a powerful form of stab, which is really good. I think a flying type stab is actually really great in this format, at least before we get to Series 2. But in Series 1 especially, it's very strong. Allows you to deal with Amoonguss very well.
Right. So how do you guys think this result, has any influence? Because I guess in a way, like, Series 2 is not really live yet, but I feel like most of the player base is, team building around it or for it, in preparation. How would the results of Liverpool, even affect it? Or do Paradox Mons being introduced into the format throw too much of a wrench in the mix, so that, these teams are, might just be irrelevant? And where does Dozo sit on that?
I mean, I definitely think, unfortunately, these Series 1 results, while they may have some sort of influence on the metagame, it's not that much. Series 2 is a completely different game, in my opinion. While you can take some of your sets from Series 1, dealing with the Paradox Mons is going to be super important. There's tons of great Pokemon like Fluttermane, Iron Hands, Iron Bundle, Great Tusk that had great results, Roaring Moon. These are all Pokemon that you have to kind of focus on more than some of the threats that you saw in Series 1, like Mousehold, etc. I mean, you still see some Indeedee, Armor Rouge, but there's definitely more of a focus on these Paradox Mons. And I think it's a little bittersweet, to be honest. I really enjoyed Series 1. While I am excited to use the Paradox Mons myself, Series 1 was just such a good format. It felt like a return to that OG Pokemon that we played back in the day, like Gen 5, Gen 6, not Gen 7 or 8, but, for the old heads, this was a great format, in my opinion.
I thought, we spoke about this on the last episode, but it was cut way too short, because this metagame and this format, I guess, could have definitely developed into something very, very good, right? And we even saw like development in just the span of like a month and a half, where like it was very dominated by the Murkrow, Goldango, Hydreigon, Garchomp core, maybe one Dragon instead of Garchomp, and then it started being dominated by Rain, and by Dondozo was there from the beginning. It was just very good, but I think we really missed out on just having a lot of development in this metagame, and it could have, if it went on for like 2 or 3 more months, we could have seen a lot of interesting teams. But unfortunately, that wasn't the situation. We moved on to Series 2, which I have to say I've been having a lot of fun with Series 2. I'm really enjoying the metagame right now. I enjoy the Paradox Mons. They don't feel too overwhelmingly hyper offensive just yet. I'm sure like if we have another stage and they add in Ruin Mons, then it is going to be a lot more hyper offensive, especially with those abilities that they have. So yeah, I don't know when exactly we're switching over to Series 3. Maybe Ann can speak on that, but yeah, I really wish we got a little more time with Series 1.
Yeah, I think we're gonna switch to Series 3 probably in April. I think that's around the time Pokemon Home should be coming, so we'll be getting those Pokemon from there. And hopefully it doesn't mean the Ruin Mons quite yet, because I'm not sure if I'm ready for Chi-Yu and Chien-Pao to body my shit with like Specs, Fluttermane, and all that. But only time will tell. I also wish, like you said, we saw this metagame develop more. Just seeing Indeedee Armor Rouge come in second place at a regional, that's a team that a lot of people just kind of write off as like a gimmick team that you only use on ladder. But it came in second place at one of the biggest regionals in European history, 487 players. But one trend I did notice, and I don't know if it's a European thing, but are these guys crackheads? I saw one Protect in the finals. One Mon had Protect out of 12 Pokemon in the finals.
It's these new breeds, bro. They don't give a fuck. They're just spamming offense.
Nah, one Protect goes kind of crazy, bro. If I run into a team with one Protect, best believe you're getting bodied, bro. Because I mean, what do I have to predict? I just have to. I can double anything I want. Like, I mean, you can't even. I mean, you have to fight for a momentum swing. You just got to be outplaying me all the time. But as Ray had said, like, they're just trying to swing. And if my team is bulkier than yours, then can I just outposition them?
The thing is, I don't think they're even thinking like that. They're not even thinking about like, oh, he could just double my mon freely. They're thinking about their positioning. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna be like faster than you. I'm gonna be stronger than you. I'm just gonna, maybe switch, like pivot and get myself into a better position. But it's like us old heads, we don't think like that. We like switching, protecting, and just forcing the opponent into an uncomfortable position where they have to make a read whether you're gonna protect or not.
Nah, I definitely think it's a playstyle kind of thing. Being able to protect for us is nice because it allows us to pivot, but some players they're just gonna read you every single turn. And hey, kudos to them. If you could read someone every single turn in a 9-round Swiss tournament and then do it also in top cut, you're nice at this game. I ain't gonna hold you, because that's definitely not something I'm gonna be doing at a tournament. Like, you're gonna see a couple mons with protect from me at any tournament I play in, unless I'm really feeling like a crackhead and I'm on some shit that weekend, because there's no way I'm not running multiple protects on my team. And one last thing for Liverpool, I saw the European motherfuckers talking a lot of shit on Twitter before this tournament, saying that the Americans, we got invaded. My boy Maluka came all the way from the 6 and bodied all of us in San Diego. But I mean, an American dude pulled up on them and took their bread. Luca Paz came out here with the Dondozo and clapped all their cheeks and took their 3K. So I don't know. I'm just saying.
Hey, look, invasions happen, man. Remember 2015 Worlds when the Japanese came over and just dominated everyone in Top Cut? It happens. It happens.
That's what I'm saying. With these more international regionals kind of happening, people are coming from all over the world to compete in these events. So don't be surprised if someone from outside the region pulls up and bodies you, because that definitely happens.
All right, moving on from Series 1, let's look over to Series 2, as it is upcoming very soon. I believe Orlando is less than 2 weeks away.
Yeah, man.
A week and like 5 days.
That's what I'm saying. Series 2 is coming February 1st to the online ladder as well. So everyone's gonna get a chance to get a taste of it on the card.
3 whole days before the first regional.
But there's a lot of practice going on before then. We've been having grassroots tours going on every single weekend since pretty much since San Diego happened and they announced that Orlando was gonna be Series 2. So there's been at least 2-3 tournaments going on the weekends. We have a couple going on during the week as well. I saw Beanie Bro, I think that's his name. He hosts the Beanie Invitational every Wednesday. That's a pretty good tour to play in. But yeah, let's talk. Lot to discuss.
Yeah, let's start off with Nina Bro's week 1 tour, and then I guess we can go into week 2 and just see how the meta really developed within that 1 week. Well, looking at the first place, we're seeing Chris Donzo pulling up with Iron Hands, Amoongus, Arcanine, Iron Bundle, Golden Go, and Garganackle. What do you guys think about that team?
I mean, I know Ant has a lot to say about that team.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
You can even talk about your run. You can even talk about your run with the team in the tournament.
Yeah. So in the Nina Bros Series 2, the week 2 tournament, pretty much that happened last Saturday, I used the same exact team. It's a good team, even though it's been a week, since that first tournament. But I think it's well balanced. It has a lot of defense capability while also putting down a lot of offensive pressure as well. It's a good team. Nothing more or less to say. It's just one of the teams that take advantage of Iron Hands. I think Iron Hands is one of the best Paradox mons that we've gotten a chance to use in Series 2, and I'm enjoying it.
We can go back to remember our predictions from the last episode where we kind of predicted what Paradox.
That's not fair. That's not fair. It's too early. Oh no!
It's been 2 weeks. Come on, but look, you weren't wrong. You said Roaring Moon was gonna be very good, right?
No, but I said at the end of it. At the end.
Oh, your timeline. You're never wrong. You're just early. Come on, man. Like, give yourself more credit.
No, definitely. I mean, Roaring Moon came in top 4 of that first week's tour, and there was definitely more of them in the top 16. I think there were 3 more that made top 16 as well. So Roaring Moon's out here still, but Iron Man, that's the guy right now, I think.
Hey, I'm not trying to take credit, but all I said was Iron Hands is gonna be very good. It was gonna be on every team. Hey, pro tip: you want to counter that mon if you're gonna go to Orlando or just in Series 2 in general, because that mon is everywhere right now.
Nah, definitely. I mean, don't counter it too hard though. I might bring it into.
I might be bringing it too.
It's too good. It's a good mon. That's all.
Can you even counter it?
That's it's tough. It's tough. You know, the Pokemon has a lot of bulk, and with Terra types, you could block the fire moves with Terra Fire. You can block the grass moves with Terra Grass. It's kind of hard. I don't know. It's not an easy mon to beat. That's for sure.
Would you say that Iron Hands is better than its counterpart? That's not the same Pokemon, by the way. They're different. What do you think? And wait. Which are there any Paradox mons that are worse than their pseudo? Or actually, they're not all pseudos. I lied. Than their regular Pokemon counterpart.
It's a good question. I think the only way you can argue is Roaring Moon, maybe, right? Because Salamence at least gets access to Intimidate.
Roaring Moon is worse? Are you?
Wait a minute. Yo, this guy. This guy's going crazy.
Don't drag it.
You could say you could argue that.
And Iron Thorn, bro. Iron Thorn is dog shit.
Bro. Dog shit too. You could. Red. You're wrong, bro. You can at least argue. You can at least argue.
Just say you didn't play Series 2. Come on.
What? One sec. Let me get the floor before I can roast this man. Yo, you can at least argue that they're on par or something because of Intimidate or the utility or the fact that men's can go mix or whatever. Like there's a lot of avenues, but like to just straight up say that Roaring Moon is worse. I mean, what about it? Could just be like the environment that it's in. It's not able to strive, but like I think that most of the Paradox mons are better optimized than their counterpart, but are they better Pokemon than them? No, I think that's a different story.
The thing is too, I'm just put this out there, right? You could get your chance for rebuttal. Where's the Menses and cut? I didn't see a men's cut any of these events yet. I mean, it might have, but
Nino Bro Series 2, you had in the top 16, you had two Menses in the top 16. You had Arath that used it, and you had Snowsun that used it. They used it paired with Fluttermane and Iron Bundle, and actually the Arath team had 3 Paradox mons paired with it, so I'm sure he didn't want to go with a Roaring Moon as well, because I'm sure one of those mons had booster energy, so that's kind of where you want to, when you're using Roaring Moon, you kind of need it with booster energy, either for speed or attack, whichever one you prefer, whichever one it fits better on your team with. But yeah, you had 2 in the cut, so that you have to be a little more fair to Ments.
Yeah, but how many Roaring Moons were in cut?
That's a good question. We can find out right now.
A lot more.
One, at least a lot more. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. It was 3 Roaring Moons to 2 Menses. I mean, that's not expanded to top 32. To be fair, this is only top 16.
Yo, which tournament are we talking about? Week 2 or week 1?
Well, I'm talking about week 2 right now.
Oh, well, and week 1, there were absolutely not. I thought we were talking about week 1. There were no Ments in top 16.
No, that's
actually, that's cap. There's 1 Ments. Well, 2 Ments. I lied. 2 Menses, but there were 4 Roaring Moons. So double the Roaring Moons in the top 16 for the week 1. And week 2, that things might have changed because the metagame is definitely evolving. But Sheldon, you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, let me just put Rayad down one time, real nice and easy. Yo, Rayad, no Kizzy, bruh. Is Ments on any one of your current Series 2 teams?
No, but to be fair, neither is Roaring Moon. It was on my first version of my team, and then I immediately scrapped it.
Yeah, honestly, bro, the question ended at no, bro. That's all I need to know.
That's not fair, bro.
No further questions. No further questions. That's it. Don't add.
At least Roaring Moon got in there once. Ments never even got the cut, bro. He's not even on the bench.
I just didn't see Ments in that light before, bro. No, but to be fair though, we're seeing more Ments as the meta is developing, so that should say something about it. I'm not the Ments fan crew right now, bro. I don't care about Ments. All I'm saying is it's a good mon, and in terms of, because there aren't, like, when you look at the other Paradox mons, right? You're looking at like Mischievous, Jigglypuff, whatever. Those mons aren't used at all, right? The only ones you're seeing are really Tyranitar and Ments. Is there anyone else that you're seeing?
No, that's fair. I agree. You saw
those are the only 2 mons that you're seeing.
You saw 1 Hydreigon and cut, and then that's it.
Well, Hydreigon's him.
That's still a good mon, but superior to its Paradox form.
There's a Volk. There's a Volk.
2 Hydreigon. Oh, I think
that is true. That's a good point. That's a great point right there.
Yeah, Volcarona is still a great Pokemon. I think it has a great spot in this current metagame.
One more. Are we gonna forget about Amoonguss, bro? It's like just straight up outclass Brew Bonnet. Yo, I don't think Brew Bonnet is even that bad, bro. But it just like Amoonguss is just. I think it's a poison typing. Honestly, the resistance to fighting I think is really big. Also, it's a fairy. I mean, Brew Bonnet, bro. You're just facing tough luck. But I mean, if it terras, the mon is not that bad. Like, you know. It does all the same things that Amoonguss can do most of the time. Hits harder and has the same like redirection spore. Like the Pokemon is not bad. I just think that people don't want to waste their Terra on it. That's what it comes down to.
That's the thing. Amoonguss has just been him for years, and everyone's comfortable with Amoonguss. It offers clear smog. It offers something that Brew Bonnet doesn't. I think Brew Bonnet, like you said, is a good mon and has a lot of offensive pressure, which is something that is very nice. Sometimes Amoonguss could just sit on the field and you're not really doing much other than clicking Rage Powder, maybe a Spore here and there, Pollen Puff or Protect, Whereas Brew Bonnet, he's out there swinging. Close Combat, Seed Bomb, Sucker Punch, Bullet Seed. There's so many options with Brew Bonnet from the offensive end, which you don't really see with Amoonguss.
Yeah, I mean, Brew Bonnet was Ant's pick, right, for being one of the best Paradox mons going into Series 2, so it's out there. But I just think it's typing, like you said, that you have to kind of terror it because its typing is so susceptible to fighting types, where you have Iron Hands on practically like 80% of teams right now, and you have a lot of Flutter Mains running around. It's very hard for that mon to stay alive. Again, it can do a lot of the same things that Amoonguss does, but you kind of want to use it offensively just because of how good its base stats are. I'm seeing a lot of just maybe like a Spore, and they're using Sucker Punch and Bullet Seed and things like that. There's a lot more offensive Brew Bonnet in the metagame right now.
One thing I noticed too, though, we saw some Sandy Shocks. I did not expect to see that Pokemon that much.
Hey, I said it. And then I said it.
Also, Great Tusk. I think ground types are in a great spot right now. I think players have correctly identified that from going from week 1 to week 2 of Series 2, that there is a space for ground types. We've seen a very big absence of Garchomp, but we need something else to deal with all these electric types, steel types, fire types running amok. So people have been taking advantage of that fact and running the ground types. In my opinion, that was in the matches that I played over the weekend in the Nino Bros store. Whenever I saw a ground type, that was the Pokemon I was definitely the most scared of.
Damn, I'm not gonna lie. You literally everything I was about to say, you just took it right out. So I guess I'll just move on to the next thing I had in the back of my mind was where's Dozo at? How strong is Dozo in Series 2 right now? I feel like it's not a bad mon. I mean, okay, there's Clear Smog Amoonguss really, but I don't really see Murkrows around. But like, why aren't we seeing a lot of Dozo at,
I mean, in the second week of the metagame so far, the Nino Bros tournament that Anthony just played, and the second place team was a Dondozo team. They ran a Flutter Mane, an Armarouge, Entity, Iron Bundle, Dondozo, and Tatsugiri. So the mon still has a good place in the format. Obviously, I mean, you kind of have to have a good team around him. I don't think it's as like autopilot as it was in Series 1, but you definitely have it's definitely in a place where it can succeed, as we've seen in the Nino Bros 500-man plus tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Dondozo was the top seed going into cut of the Nino Bros tour. He was undefeated. Someone was undefeated with Dondozo, bodying everyone, going 9-0 before. But ultimately, it didn't win. The team that won was actually very surprising, and we could talk about it. It had Corviknight on it with Misty Terrain, Grimmsnarl next to it. That shit is crazy. I didn't expect to see something like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Corviknight is a really a really cool mon. I experimented with it in Series 1, and I think I'm not sure what the moveset on that Corviknight was, but I believe bulk up, like Iron Head, Body Press, something as simple as like Tailwind or Roost is a really good set. And if you go like Terra Fire or something like that, you just get a really bulky Pokemon with some really good stab coverages. And the Misty Terrain on the Grimmsnarl really helps with just clearing for statuses. I mean, that's a really cool tech on Grimmsnarl that you do not see often. And then the Arcanine on the team, the Gastrodon. That team, it looks really well balanced and very defensive, and I can see why that team, definitely took home the prize.
No, to add on to your Misty Terrain point, I think that's such a good tech right now. You have a lot of Will-O-Wisp and you have Spore literally everywhere right now in the format. You have Mimikyu that can use Wisp. You have Talonflame that's using Wisp. You have Amoonguss on practically every single team right now. It's so good right now. There's Spores firing everywhere. So I think Misty Terrain is a really good call, that alley man, and they won. So it was obviously. I think Gastrodon is obviously it's in a good place right now. There's a lot. It hits Iron Hands very hard. My only problem with Corviknight is that I feel like it just loses the hands too easily. And you have to kind of Terra Dragon, which I don't like being forced to defensively Terra like turn one, because a lot of times I'll feel like leading with Corviknight. I feel like it's a mon that you just kind of lead with. Maybe I'm playing it wrong. I did experiment with it a little bit, but I just feel like it loses too hard to hands. What do you guys think?
I mean, the thing is with the Corviknight, he was running the bulk up set with Roost. He didn't have any speed control on the team, so he was just depending on his bulk. And I think once you get a couple bulk ups going, it's hard for Iron Hands to outpace it with the damage output. Most Iron Hands are running AV, so they're stuck with their base attack. Maybe they might get lucky and get the boost from a booster energy if they're not.
I remember
running
he was using Sword Stance. He was using Sword Stance on his Iron Hand.
So Ally was running Sword Stance on his Iron Hands, which is different. And another thing too is if you burn the opposing. Well, actually, no. Alec didn't have the possibility of burning.
Yeah, he wasn't running Wisp.
He wasn't running Wisp. He had AV Arcanine. Right. I mean, I think the team had a lot of ways of just dishing out good damage to it. You had Hyper Voice on Sylveon. You had Spirit Break on Grimmsnarl. And then the ground move on Gastrodon. So it's not horrible. It's not horrible into the matchup. It's just you kind of have to play around it a bit and then preserve your Corviknight so it could just kind of run through your opponent's team after it gets set up.
Right. Another Pokemon I definitely wanted to touch on that's pretty big. Actually, there's two. I'll leave Garganacl for you guys. Maybe you guys might want to make a comment. But one Pokemon on my mind that it's really a hit or a miss, pun intended, is Iron Bundle. Like, that Pokemon is really strong.
Fuck Bundle.
He's really strong. He's really fast. He low-key ends up acting like a Icy Wind bot most of the time for me. But the Hydro Pump misses, man. I cannot get over missing Hydro Pump with him. Like, he does so much damage. His moves have decent coverage with Freeze Dry, but just missing Hydro Pump is just like, it's like game losing. To be honest, like, what do you guys think about it? Have you guys had issues with Bundle? I know I sure have. Go ahead.
Quite literally, my only losses in the tour. So during Swiss, both of my games that.
Well, talk about your run. Talk about your run for the tournament.
Yeah. So I ended up going 7-1, well 7-2 in Swiss. So I won.
This was the Nino Bros tournament this past week.
Yeah. So I think I won my first 5 rounds. So I was 5-0. I lost a match to Kiryu. I think that's his name, or their name. I'm not sure, but yeah, I lost to them because I missed the pump, and then another game that I played, I ended up losing because I missed the pump, and then my top cut match, I lose game 1 because I missed the pump. So like you can see, there's a common thread line here where Hydro Pump misses. Like, I'm sure, there could have been other situations in those games where maybe I could have pivoted my Mons a little bit better so I didn't have to go for the pump. But sometimes you just need a hit pump on an Arcanine. And if you miss it, it's just huge because Arcanine is hitting you like a truck or snarling you or breaking your sash when you're running sash Iron Bundle. So that move I have quite a few qualms with right now. But besides that, I think Iron Bundle is a great mon. It's fast. It's 1 point faster than Fluttermane.
You're just shitting on it for 5 minutes. It's a great mon.
It is a good mon. No, don't get me wrong. It's just I wish it had a more reliable water stab move. I'm not trying to run the Terra Water, chilling water with 50 base power, bro. I'm not knocking any Arcanines with that. Sometimes you have to click the Hydro Pump. Unfortunately,
you want to hit your move, or do you want to kill the mon?
I want to do both.
I want to kill the mon. Run the pump, bro.
That's what I said. You want to do both, but it's tough. But yeah, I lost quite a few games because I missed Hydro Pumps this weekend. So I feel you on that, Sheldon, for sure.
Yeah, Hydro Pump, it's hit or miss. I've been laddering a lot with Iron Bundle. I think that's the one mon I haven't really taken off my team. Just because it has, if you're running a booster energy plus speed, you have pretty much the fastest Icy Wind in the game, which can be very crucial in order to, for those like mirror matchups or anything, because you're going to be running into a lot of, if you're running Fluttermane, there's going to be a lot of other Fluttermanes, a lot of other Iron Hands, because these Paradox mons are very prevalent right now. Like it's a lot of Fluttermanes, a lot of Iron Hands, a lot of bundles. So a fast Icy Wind goes a long way. But the pump is an issue. 80 accuracy, that misses a lot more than you think. And sometimes, like you said, you want to hit that Arcanine just one time. If you hit that Arcanine, you win the game, right? If you miss, you lose the game. You hit that Great Tusk, you win the game. But you can't, relying on inaccurate moves, it's tough.
Following up here on what I had mentioned earlier, the other Pokemon being Garganacl. Two questions. Three questions. One, how do you think Garganacl is performing overall? Two, is Terra Poison or Terra Ghost better? And three, how do you feel about Covert Cloak? I can go first, or I want you guys. I want your opinion first.
I mean, I can personally speak on it. I was using it on Chris Donzo's team. On the team, it has Terra Ghost on it instead of Terra Poison. I think for that specific team, it was pretty decent. But in general, I think Poison might be better just because being able to. Well, actually, no. I don't know. We're in a weird point in the metagame where I see Armor Rouge kind of coming back. Indeed, the Armor Rouge is coming back. So I don't know if the Psychic types pick up. It might be good to run the Ghost. So I feel like it could go all over the place with that. But I think Garganacl is a decent mon. It got a lot of hype after Maluka won the regional with it. So a lot of people were using it in Series 1. And that's carried over here to Series 2. And while it's a good mon, I think some people are leaning into it a little too much. Just because, it's a Pokemon that could do a lot of damage, passively and stay on the field for a long time. But people are making misplays and giving up mons to keep it alive. And when they really should be playing differently, don't depend on it too much. Just use it as just another tool in the toolbox. But like you said, I think a lot of people have been picking up on the Covert Cloak because they've wised up and realized, wait, Covert Cloak blocks the Salt Cure from dishing out all that passive damage, and on Pokemon like Amoonguss, you could just click Rage Powder and just bring the Salt Cure to you, and you don't have to worry about it. Your other partner Pokemon can dish out damage and ignore the mon completely.
Yeah, I mean, to answer Sheldon's question, I personally have been using Garganacl, and I've been using Ghost on it instead of Poison because I feel like it kind of, I mean, you have Wide Guard to protect against the Expanding Force, but Armor Rouge kind of beats you. If like you say you want to get like a Salt Cure off, you're not really freely allowed to do so if you're going to be Terra Poison. And the Ghost, at least with Purifying Salt, you're allowed to eliminate practically your Ghost weakness. So you're only really weak to Dark types at that point. So I think Ghost is a very good Terra type right now. Obviously, you can block Fake Outs, which are everywhere in the format right now. So you have that option as well. I think Ghost Terra in general right now is just very good. Like I've been running like a lot of mons just with a Ghost Terra because you want to be able to freely lead into an Iron Hands and just be able, like, say you lead like a Flutter Mane and one other mon, you're freely allowed to Ghost Terra the other mon, and then you're good to go. Like the amount of damage that you can get off in that turn when they go for a Fake Out, it's very underrated. Like you can put them in a position where they can't even come back after you get like, a very powerful Moonblast, Shadow Ball off, and then whatever your other mon was gonna do. So that's a good Terra in general right now, I feel.
Yeah, I agree with what both of you guys said. I really didn't have too much of a different opinion, so I'm glad you guys were able to speak on that.
But yeah, we have just 1 week until Orlando, a week and a half pretty much. So there'll be a couple tours this weekend, but I think during this next week you gotta start focusing. If you're playing in the tournament, you gotta start focusing on what you want to use and lock in the team. I mean, the one different thing about Orlando Regionals is, though, you have up until the morning of the event to lock in your team. You don't have to do it the night before like you had to at San Diego. That's a Team Northwest thing apparently, and the team that's running the Orlando Regionals decided, hey, you could lock your team in up until 7:30 the morning of the event, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, if you have any last second decision change on what you want to run, you're free to do that up until the morning of. But what do you guys think is which Paradox mon do you think we're gonna see a lot in cut for Orlando? I think so. We saw a lot of Great Tusk in the Nino Bros tournament recently. Like that was not necessarily a surprise because that mon, I was trying to make it work earlier. I just couldn't figure out like the right set to run on it. I think I was running the what's the futuristic version of it?
Iron Treads.
Yes, that. So I was running that, but then the seal typing was just kind of bad into Arcanine. It was kind of bad into Iron Hands. So I think Great Tusk is definitely the better version of that mon. So that mon kind of dominated the cut. We saw a lot of it. So I mean, I'm sure we're gonna see something at Orlando that we're not expecting. What do you guys think?
I mean, I still think Iron Hands is gonna be that guy. He's him. You know, if anything, it's gonna be the one mon that's kind of prevalent in the top 16 or top 32 cut. You're gonna see more Iron Hands than anything else, unless people are cooking up some stuff that just body it. Then maybe you'll see whatever that is. So I don't know. I guess only time will tell. With that, but I'm expecting a decent amount of Iron Hands in the cut.
Right. For me, I think it's like a two-way. I think we're gonna see a lot of Fluttermanes and what's the other moth? I think is it Slitherwing? No, it's not Slitherwing. It's
Iron Moth.
Iron Moth.
Iron Moth. Yeah, there you go. I think those two Pokemon are really like. I don't want to say they're slept on because I see fairly a lot of it on Showdown.
Don't talk about Iron Moth, bro. He's too good right now. I don't want people catching on. He's too good.
There's some sick. Yeah, man, there's some sick combos. I mean, I think people are like, there's this booster energy combo I've seen. I mean, people did it to me on ladder already, so it's not like the secret is, like, it's not even a secret, bro. It's just out there.
Talking about the acid spray stuff.
Yeah, the acid spray, man. I mean, hey, look, that thing makes Fluttermane next to it a beast.
Hey, shh.
Hey,
they don't know about that. They don't know about that.
I'm sorry. That's right.
Acid spray stuff goes hard, man. It goes hard.
There's gonna be like 20 viewers that see this podcast, bro. I'm sure.
And I'm gonna play all of them out of Orlando, bro. They're all
yeah, 100%. Those are the woke guys at Orlando, bro. The woke ones.
They're running.
Yeah, those are my predictions. Those two mons are definitely. I think they're not slept on, but I don't think they're on everyone's number one spot.
Right. What you thinking is gonna pull up at Orlando?
So I mean, obviously it won the tournament, the last Nino Bros tournament, so it's not really slept on, but I think Gastrodon is in such a good spot right now in the metagame. Not many things hit it hard. You have Giga Drain like Volcarona, you have a Mungus that hits it hard. But Terra Fire Gastrodon goes ridiculously hard. Like, what beats it? You have to run a ground type to beat it, and there aren't many rock types running around right now, which low key I think Tyranitar could be a very good anti-meta mon right now, right? If you Terra, it works well into Iron Bundle, it works well into Fluttermane, it works well into Terra Fire, Gastrodon, Arcanine. I mean, Arcanine has Intimidate, but I think Tyranitar has a good place in the meta right now. Gastrodon, it really beats Iron Hands, which is important. It beats Arcanine. It beats a lot of things right now that are very good in the meta. Again, you have to run a Terra Fire because Amoonguss is very prevalent right now, but yeah, no, I think Gastrodon is going to do very well once again.
Yeah, definitely. And, it's also a good Dondozo check. So if those do creep up again in usage, which, after coming in second place at the Neo Bros tour.
You're talking about Clear Smog, Gastrodon?
Yeah, it's an option, bro. It is an option. Definitely an option. I don't know if it's a good option, but it's an option.
I think you have to run Clear Smog over Recover because you don't want to give up Protect. I mean, you could give up Protect because you do have Recover. But again, we're three players that love Protect, so I don't think that's something we want to give up. And are you not giving up Muddy Water or Earth Power because it gives you too many good coverages?
Well, I don't even think did Ally even run Muddy Water. I thought he had Ice Beam, Earth Power.
No, I think Muddy Water is just you don't think Muddy Water is better than Ice Beam? What are you hitting Ice Beam?
I think Ice Beam's good.
Into what you're talking about, like Rolling Moons?
I mean, it's good into the ground types that you're talking about. It's good into the few dragon types that we see. It's good into the grass types. So it's good into a decent amount of stuff in the metagame that we're seeing. I can see the reasoning.
You can't sleep on the accuracy drops. You can't sleep on the
accuracy. But
sometimes that wins you.
You can also miss those Muddy Waters too, though.
You can. I learned that the hard way too. The amount of times I've missed Muddy Water. Not only that, but I played a Mousehold like last night, and I got an accuracy drop, and the population bomb still hit like 9 times. I was kind of sad about that. That wasn't right.
Yeah, actually, speaking of Mousehold, Animus ended up getting top 16 with Mousehold. He actually had a pretty cool team. I think he had a Dragonite on there as well.
What was his Dragonite set? I see the Dragonite on there. I don't know what he was running specifically on it though.
I don't remember. Let me pull up the Limitless page to see his team sheet. That might actually be pretty interesting. So let me. Pull that
we only see one Mousehold in cut, but obviously if it cut, there is a place for it, so you can't really sleep on it. I think maybe a Friend Guard set is very good too, because you don't necessarily have a lot of people are figuring out. They figured this out at the end of season 1 too, where you don't really have to run a technician population bomb for it to be effective. A lot of people are running friend guard, and they're running it with Super Fang or beat up next to Annihilate and things like that. So that's I don't know exactly what set Animus was running. Probably a population bomb, because I don't see Annihilate on his team, so beat up probably wasn't an option.
Yeah, so I have the team sheet here, and it was Technician with Wide Lens, Population Bomb, Follow Me, Faint, and Protect. And the Dragonite was actually Choice Band with Terraflying. It was another Terraflying Terrablast Mon. Had Stomping Tantrum as well, Extreme Speed, and Dragon Claw. So pretty cool stuff.
Faint next to the Choice Band, Dragonite is probably a very good tech, right?
Yeah, that shit probably goes crazy.
Yo, I just thought of something while Ant was looking up, the result. What if you could give Mousehold another ability? What would you give it? I'll go first. I'll go for any ability. I'll go first because obviously I want to give you guys a chance to think about it. I'm saying, bro, I'm giving that guy Scrappy, bro. If I could pop bomb anything I wanted, bro, I don't care about Technician boost, bro. I'll just run I'll run the Wide Lens, bro. It's fine. I mean, Pop Bomb does a lot by itself, man. And for like any frail mons, and a lot of ghost types are frail, I'm not gonna lie. Like Pop Bomb is gonna shred.
I think Scrappy is a very good ability, because that's kind of what the only real counter to Population Bomb is like Steel types maybe, or like you just pivot into a ghost type, and like you and a lot of ghost types are super frail too. That would just make him OP. Like he would just be ridiculously OP. He'd be on every team.
I don't know. I think Friend Guard is still really good, and Technician, but I see the need for Scrappy.
No cop out answers. If you had to give it another ability, a third one.
I don't know, man. I gotta ponder.
Yeah, ponder. Yeah, come back.
You were definitely thinking about that Scrappy thing for a while.
No, definitely. You know, when I was playing in Series 1, I used Mousehold. That was on my San Diego team, man. Those freaking ghost types, bro. Seeing those shits come in, or a Pokemon randomly, tear a ghost on you on ladder, that shit hurt.
Especially because the Mousehold, that was your only option with it because of your tragic backstory with that mon.
Oh yeah. Well,
oh no.
You guys can go back to episode 1 to hear about that.
Yeah. I mean, luckily during my run, there weren't too many ghost types I played to worry about. If I did play a ghost type, I bodied it with my other mons. But definitely, spoiler, in San Diego, I only had 2 moves on my Mousehold. Hear all about that in our first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, that was tragic.
Yeah, I mean, at least I have until 7:30 for Orlando to double check my team sheet and make sure that shit is Gucci.
Always double check, triple check your team sheets.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to have Red sign into my account and look at that shit.
Oh, whoa. We don't condone that. No sharing of accounts, please.
I'm not. No. Like, he's going to be there with me.
I just don't want any, young players, allowing stuff like that to happen.
There might be some nefarious characters.
Yeah. Don't let anyone.
Yo, Ray, how long has we've been friends for a hot minute, right?
Yeah. You can only do this if you've been friends for 22 plus years.
22 plus. We've been friends that long?
Nah, I'm capping. We have not.
Say don't drag it. Say like 15 plus. We could say that. How about 22 plus years?
Solid 1.5 decades plus years, something like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute. One thing I'm noticing though is that we're not seeing a lot of weather right now. There's there's a Pelipper in top 16. Was that it though? Was there was one Tyranitar. One Tyranitar.
I played a few Torkoal. The thing is with weather, I think some players are leaning into it a little too much. So they think like, hey, I'm gonna bring in Torkoal. It's gonna boost up all of my Paradox mons, and I'm gonna be so powerful. But like, it works both ways. You're boosting up your opponent's Paradox mons as well.
Right.
And usually when you run Torkoal, you're running slower mons, so you try and go for Trick Room. But if you give these other mons, attack boosts, they might run through your team or be able to stall it out and then run through your team after the Trick Room's over. And the thing is too, I feel like because of that, since the Torkoals aren't doing that well, there's not as much of a need to run the Pelipper. But we did see some Pelipper in week 1. With Palafin. So I think there is a place for it still, and we'll definitely see a good finish in top 32 at Orlando with some weather. But as right now, I'm not seeing too much besides the occasional Tyranitar and Torkoal.
Yeah, I mean, Jody had a funny tweet earlier today where he kind of cooked up something for Series 2 that was pretty similar to what he was running in Series 1. It was like Pelipper, Palafin, Abomasnow, Iron Bundle, and then Armor Rouge Indie combination. If he pulls up and wins Orlando with this, then, you know, all the more power to him. But, I mean, Abomasnow, we haven't really seen that much in the format. We saw it more towards Series 1, like towards the end, where there was a lot more Abomasnows popping up. But yeah, I haven't really seen him much. And I see him sometimes on the ladder, but yeah, I think your point about Torkoal was very good. The fact that you can power up your opponent's Pokemon is very overlooked. And a lot of people don't even run him with Trick Room, so they're just running it just to power up their own mon. It's very short-sighted, and it can bite you in the ass.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I think the problem is people haven't had a lot of opportunity to test their teams because there's no ladder. But a good way to test teams, in my opinion, is using rental teams. That's how I used Chris Donzo's team at the Nina Bros Tour this weekend. I didn't get it myself in game. I didn't have time for that shit. I'm busy working. You know, I'm a working man. And, you know, some of us don't have time to get teams. But with rental teams, you can do so, which is one of my favorite things that they added in the recent generations to Pokemon is being able to use any team that's published online and use it yourself to test it out before you know, invest those resources and time into getting the team itself in game. You know, Pokemon Showdown practice only goes so far. Sometimes you just want to play on cart to get a feel of, you know, what works and what doesn't, or to play in these kind of online tournaments. Most of them are on cart anyways. You know, it's very rare you see a Pokemon Showdown tournament that involves money.
Yeah, speaking of rental teams, I think that's a good bridge to our next topic. I've been on the VGC Reddit, you know, here and there, and a couple of times now I've seen posts around rental teams. There's this one notable post where the player posting, you know, specifically was questioning, you know, if they should be using rental teams and like, you know, like I guess I don't want to say like the ethics, but like the moral behind it. Like they were kind of conflicted, you know, if, you know, rental teams take away from their skill as a player because they, you know, maybe they're not able to build the same team, but then when they use the rental team, you know, they're also not performing. So like there's a lot that can go behind, you know, the rental team, you know, usage process. But I mean, to just give my take on it, I think that anyone should be able to use a rental team because it allows you to, exactly what Anthony said before, it allows you to try different teams, get your feet wet in different archetypes, and without having to invest. And it also allows you to learn about other people's strategies. The only downside is a lot of times in Pokemon, when you team build, that's when you have probably the deepest understanding of a team because you're creating the team, you know, from the floor up, and you understand what concept you're trying to execute in a match. And maybe that's where that player might be finding that hardship, is because they don't have that same mindset that the person had when they created it. So there might be a little disconnect there, but that shouldn't take away from the ability for them to use a rental team, one. And two, it definitely doesn't take away from the fact that they could themselves be a great player. And, you know, using a rental team, it definitely doesn't, it shouldn't stop you or limit, you know, you playing Pokemon in any sort of way. If anything, I think rental teams are a boost to the game.
Yeah, one thing I noticed too on those Reddit posts, like some of these guys, they're saying some nonsense, saying like, oh, like, you know, I feel like everyone should be building their own Pokemon and using them, you know, I'm so proud of building my team, this, that, whatever. And it's like a ego kind of thing. It's like, bro, like it's not that serious. Like, in my opinion, testing on ladder is like one of the best ways to prepare for live events. And you can't always, invest that time and resources to getting those teams on cart. You know, don't feel like you're some elite echelon of player just because you got your team, you know, yourself and you're using on ladder. Like we all have to get our teams on cart for regional, so we're all going to go through that process when it comes to game day. But when it comes to playtesting, you know, you're just sounding a little corny when you're saying, oh, like, you know, everyone should have to make their own mons. Like I feel like it takes away from, like, no, it doesn't take away from anything. If anything, you have the advantage when I'm using a rental team, right? Because that team is out there. If you're well informed about the metagame, you know what Chris Donzo's team is. You know the EVs, you know the moves, you know everything about that team, and I don't know a thing about yours, and you have the advantage in that situation. But you're still going to lose sometimes to the player with the rental team because they're just better than you. So don't, like, you know, I think a lot of newer players or players that, you know, might not be up there in terms of skill level, they like to point at random things to blame, and I don't think rental teams are going to be the thing to point at. It does way more good than harm for the community, and don't gatekeep is what I'm trying to get at. We want more players to try out new teams, play the game, and have the community grow. Don't be elitist with your mindset, in my opinion. But Ray, what do you think?
I definitely agree with everything you guys said. However, I think it leads to a good debate about whether or not you would play better if you were using a team that you like built and progressively improved like throughout like an entire format, an entire metagame, as opposed to like you just taking the next best team. And that's something I've kind of fell victim to in the past, where I like see a team and I'm like, wow, like this team suits my playstyle. It's exactly what I want to use. And then I use it, and then I'm not in like the creator's mind, right? I don't know exactly how they intended to use it. I don't know what their progression was in building the team. So as soon as this format started, I just wanted to build my own team. And I felt this is the most comfortable I felt with a team in a while, with the team that I'm using right now. It's just when you're the creator of a team, like you understand exactly why you chose a specific Pokemon. You understand your matchups a lot better. Obviously, for the more advanced players, they can pick any team they want that's doing well and just kind of know exactly what it's supposed to do, even if you don't know exactly what the creator was thinking. But I think it's a good debate to have. Like, I know me and Sheldon go back and forth on this all the time. It's like, do we want to take a team and just kind of like improve it maybe, or again like what Ann said, where if you're using a team that's very prevalent in the format, right, that's been used, won tournaments, then everyone kind of knows exactly what a team does, so there's no surprise element to it. But yeah, me and Sheldon go back and forth on this all the time, so it's a very interesting topic.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is too, like I definitely see it. Like in the past, I've built my own teams for regionals, and I've also taken teams. Red and I, we have a couple unfortunate stories where we brought teams that we thought were fire, go to fly out to Texas to play in a regional, and
the teams were fire. They're just like, we weren't the original pilots of them.
Right, and the thing is too, that's one thing too. It's like, while you could take a good team, you definitely need to practice with it to get experience. Like the only reason I think I performed well enough to top cut in the Nino Bros tour this weekend was because I was playing on ladder with Donzo's team and iterating on it a bit. While I didn't use the iterations in the tour, it played very similar to the original, and I was able to take that experience and bring it to the tournament to do well. So I think, like you said, building a team, you kind of get the experience from the get. You have a mind, an idea of what to do with the team while you're making it. So then from game one, you already have a game plan. Whereas if you take a team, you might have to take a couple games to get adjusted, figure out, okay, what do each mon do? What are their different functions, different roles on the teams? What calcs do I live? How much damage do I do? Especially if that information is not available. Like, shout out to Miluka for making this amazing team report that he posted after his run in San Diego, where he showed calcs, he showed his mindset behind the team building process, and why he made certain choices on the team. Like, when you have a resource like that, I think it's easier to just pick up the team. But sometimes you just see a rental code floating around the internet and you just use it. It might take some more time to be adapted and learn.
Yeah. Shouting out to VGC Pace as well on Twitter. I mean, guys, as you can tell, we are very big advocates for rental teams, as it makes practice a breeze. It helps you learn. I mean, I'm pretty sure Ant hit Master Ball tier just using rentals this season. VGC Pace is a great resource for rental teams, and you guys should definitely check them out if you haven't already. They post a lot of teams that do well at events, and it's a good way to stay abreast on the format.
They're quick with it too. They're very quick. Like, as soon as the tournament ends, they have like pace up. They're very good at getting their information out there very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. They're doing the community a solid with all the data that they've been collecting since the beginning of Series 1. Even before Series 1, when we were playing with Jianpao and Chi Yu and all those Ruin Mons, they had good data back then too. But especially since we started with the events, they've been on top of it, collecting all top 128 teams. That's everyone that got CP. Their team is available, which is amazing. Back in the day, we were lucky if we got teams for the top 16 at some tournaments. Red, like, remember back in the day when you had to scour through Smogon and look at war stories just to figure out what people were using?
Dude, war stories that takes me back. That was.
I'm saying, can we bring that trend back? That shit was fire.
The thing is, anyone could write a war story too. Like you could just post because the forum was very, it was very intimate. It was very like niche. Like there's everyone had a voice. It seemed, Now like there's really no space for us to put out a war. Like say we ran a team that we really liked and maybe it didn't perform that well. So you don't have the results to show for it, but the team is good. Like it was very solid. It was just your play that weekend, whatever. Something a series of unfortunate events.
Cough, Anthony.
Right, exactly. But like you had a whole thought process behind that team, right? That you would have loved to share. That which you could have done that on Smogon or Nugget Bridge back in the day. But I mean, yeah, I really wish we had a space to kind of freely share exactly how we built a team and how we wished it would have performed.
Yeah, definitely. Some people they're still posting, their reports, kind of like how Miluka did for San Diego, but it's just not the same feel, man. Like I remember going on Smogon after the regional, posting my war story, liking up everyone else's war story that I saw from the same event, and commenting, like this is how we met Aaron Cybertron Zhang, right, Riyad?
Yeah.
Back in the day, it's war stories.
Yeah, because you would just have like everyone commenting on your war stories, and it's like, yo, like that's a cool team, man. Like I remember playing you. Oh my god, that was cool. It allowed so much interaction. I think Twitter is the new Smogon, bro. Like that's where you.
It is, but like man, Twitter. That's a whole podcast in itself. Twitter's a different place, man. Elite memes though. Elite memes on Twitter.
I have to delete that app, but I just can't. I can't bring myself to delete that app. It's too good.
Rotting our brain cells, but the entertainment is just fire.
The dopamine hits just keep coming.
But yeah, no, I wish we had a space like that for VGC. Just to, I mean, I'm sure Smogon forums is still live, but it's just the experience is not the same. Yeah. I mean, the experience is definitely not the same. It's too. I don't even I haven't been on Smogon in probably like 9 years because Nugget Bridge kind of took over and then they shut down. But that Nugget Bridge was fire. I mean, you and Sheldon both had great performances in Nugget Bridge tournaments, right?
Yeah, it was in the same tournament. I played in the 2012 Nugget Bridge Invitational. No, it wasn't the Invitational. It was
a major, right? Major.
It was the major. I placed top 4. I remember I lost to R Inanimate, who that guy was incredible at building.
Randy,
I'm having PTSD, bro. But the goat of sand, Bro,
that guy was
was he the goat of sand, bro?
I mean, Ben was the goat, he gotta be the goat of sand, bro.
What was that? What was that
Ben?
one guy?
Dude, Ben is up there, bro.
Sandman, yo.
Okay. There's a lot of guys in contention. There's a lot.
Know these names? Comment on the YouTube video. Let's link up, bro. Because you're an old head. We mess with the old heads, bro. Like, oh man, in San Diego, just seeing so many older players. Like we saw Rushan Shekar, we saw, like Alexicon, we saw Aaron. There's so many good old players back. Jody, we talked all about this in the first podcast, but just seeing the old heads come back and
genuinely enjoying the game.
Exactly. That's the thing. One thing I'm very happy about Gen 9 it's the first time I've been playing Pokemon since probably Gen 6 that I've been having a lot of fun. Like Gen 7, I played it because I wanted to perform well and do well at regionals. But honestly, like going week to week at premier events, going to a PC or MSS, Gen 7 got old real quick for us. But this game, I genuinely enjoy like laddering, playing on PS, playing on cart, playing in these grassroots tournaments, and going to events. I think it's a great time to be a Pokemon player in general.
I mean, Sheldon, at this point, I think you're an old head too.
I mean, yeah, you guys started what? You guys started what? 2008 or something?
Yeah.
So you guys were playing in 2008. I started. It's when I started playing with you guys. Pretty much, it was like around 2013. I think that's when I really started partaking in events and stuff, and like really learning the game. So. I mean, bro, that's 10 years, man. I mean, I've been playing Pokemon for a decade competitively. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I think I qualify as an old head. If you cross a decade, you're an old head, bro.
I mean, I think anyone that's played pre-Gen 7 at this point, you could be considered an old head, man. Like, because I think after Gen 6, like, while Megas were a bit volatile, Gen 7 with the Z moves, that shit was crazy. Like, you could get nuked any given turn because
Gen 7 was like, what, 2017?
Yeah, that was when 17 forward. Like I liked 17 as a format, but I think every format after that wasn't that fun.
Because there just say it's ass, bro. Just say it's ass.
Yeah, it was ass. Oh my god, that shit was ass, bro. I think the only one I had fun was it VGC 19? That was like the Sun series where you were allowed to use the Pokemon like Palkia, Dialga, but then you weren't allowed to use Z moves and Megas. I thought that was cool because again, it was like a throwback to the older formats because it didn't have the crazy gimmicks. I think, huh? What was that?
I don't even know that was a thing. What was that? 2019.
2019. So like that's when
that was right after the 2018 format.
Yeah, that's when they kind of started the whole series thing where they would do like Sun series, then Moon series, then they had Ultra series. So like it was a different rule set, which in my opinion, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, I hate the series setup. Give me a whole year with the metagame, bro. Like I'm just trying to play. Let the metagame develop. Or if you're gonna do like these series things, you want like I get what they're trying to accomplish, like keep the game fresh, but
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like we were robbed with Series 1.
Right. No, I think it gives you a feel of seasons, like in like battle passes, stuff like that. It's not the same. It's not a 1-to-1 for sure, but it gets the game moving and it allows for a constant fresh feeling. And I definitely agree with you more though. I feel like if we had a longer period of time per season, that would be a good sweet spot for not keeping things stale. And also a good part about the seasons is that one team, if there is a meta that develops and it becomes really centralized, it won't last the entire year, which I think is a great thing.
I mean, the centralizing point is really very good because we saw like metagames can hit a point where it centralizes very hard and those teams just kind of dominate. There's no counters for them. Sometimes you can maybe find something, but you're just gonna see like 2015 was one of those formats. Even like Big Six in 2016, like things like that. It's just very like it's hard. You can get counters to them obviously, but it's just very difficult. They're gonna be good no matter what. But another point is that I think I'm enjoying Series 2 a little more than Series 1. I don't know if I'm going against the grain with that opinion, but I find Series 2 it's just a good format. It's fun. It's not too volatile yet. I know once Ruined Pokemon's come in, it's probably going to be a little more volatile. But I think Series 2 overall, I've been having a lot more fun with it than Series 1. Not to say I didn't have fun with Series 1, but Series 2, like I think like just having like a playstyle that more caters to me. Bulky offense is still very good. You can get away with that. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with like Flutter Mains and things like that. It just hit very hard.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Series 2, I think that we're seeing a lot more variety. While there was a lot of variety leading up to San Diego, I think once we saw the teams that performed well at San Diego, the Rain Flock, and then we had the Dondozo stuff, and then the Miluka team, like we saw a lot of people kind of emulate that going into Liverpool with some Ndidi Armory stuff sprinkled in there as well. I think maybe if we had more events with the format, things might not have stagnated as quick. I think because after San Diego there's only one event, a lot of people just kind of took teams like, oh, why would I invest the time to like really flesh out teams or like really like get in the builder, get in the lab and make something amazing if I'm not going to be playing at either of these events. So we will never know if this is as far as the metagame would have evolved due to the fact that we're not going to have any more events with this metagame. But like I said, we just gotta kind of move forward and look at Series 2 for what it is, and it is a very great metagame. It's not too different from Series 1. We add a handful of really cool Pokemon, and I like the player expression that we're seeing. So many different options, and hopefully when Series 3 drops, it's not with the Ruined Mons, it's just Pokemon Home. But if it is Pokemon Home and the Ruined Mons, we'll see some interesting things for sure. Maybe some more centralization though.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying there. One thing I wanted to throw out to you guys, and I guess throw out an opinion on, is I feel like so I was thinking of the Paradox Pokemon and stuff, and with the Quirk Drive, is it the ability? There's not a lot of room for Quirk Drive, I feel like, being activated because the only like electric terrain setter is like Pinerchin. Whereas for the photosynthesis...
How did you even say that correctly?
I don't know, bro. I YOLO'd it. I'm glad it came out correctly, though. But yeah, so that guy, he's like the only Pokemon to set it, but I feel like he's not very competitively viable. I did see one top cut in one of those grassroots tours. I'm not gonna go back and look at it. I'm just gonna stick to my opinion that I don't think that Pokemon is that competitively viable. Whereas for photosynthesis users, Torkoal, generally speaking, is a competitively viable Pokemon. What are you guys' opinions on electric terrain and Pinerchin?
Oh, that Pokemon's ass for sure. But I think we've seen some people actually use electric terrain on their iron bundles as like the third slot instead of icy wind. I guess their teams don't need the speed control, so they opt for that. And then you actually have noticed that some people are running Murkrow with Sunny Day to manually set Sun with the prankster Sunny Day, which is cool, I guess, but I don't know. I feel like we said earlier with Torkoal, those options aren't that great. Like, you're powering up your opponent's Pokemon as well, so it could be a double-edged sword. So unless you know how to fully take advantage of it, you might be better off just, if it happens, it happens, but it probably won't, and playing without it.
Right. No, I totally agree with that. I guess it's funny. I thought about another thing is, why is there only one Pokemon to set each weather? Like, there's only Torkoal for sun, Abomasnow for snow, and Kitar for like no, I lied. I think there's Hippowdon. No, there's Hippowdon. There's two for sand.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of like a pet peeve I have about this format is like you have to and Pelipper for rain. Sorry, I totally forgot about rain. You have to only pick one of those mons if you want to pick like the weather, unless you're trying to manually set. And I'm not really a big fan of manually setting.
I mean, I was gonna mention Murkrow as a Sunny Day setter, because we've seen that a few times. But yeah, again, you're manually setting. You have Prankster, so at least you can set it up risk free largely. But that's a good tech because it's not as obvious. If you want to run Murkrow, you can Sunny Day, get a lot of your photosynthesis going, and I can catch a lot of people off guard. But according to your automatic setters, then yeah, you're very limited in your options.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely missing like the likes of Politoed and is there any? Oh, Ninetales. Man, Ninetales would be so good in this format. Especially
Ninetales goes hard, bro.
Bro,
oh, dude, Alola Ninetales is crazy, man.
That shit would fast Auroraville in this format would be nuts.
That and shit cut me so many locals.
Regular Ninetales for the other sun.
That's what I'm saying. Those Pokemon I definitely missed. I also think the Tapus would have been really dope in this format.
Yo, I don't like the Tapus, bro. I'm not a fan of the Tapus, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
I hate Indeedee enough right now, bro. I don't want to have terrains everywhere.
You know what? It's not the Tapus. It's not the Tapus. I don't like terrains too much, bro. I think that's a mechanic that it wasn't my favorite thing. It's cool and all, but the blanket effect, man, like, yeah, I don't like it too much.
I didn't like how prevalent it was in every single match. So like every match you have to worry about priority, you have to worry about status moves, like you have to really plan around it, and you're kind of building your team around your terrains as well, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I love 2017 as a metagame itself, but yeah, I could do without the Tapus, I'll be honest.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, they would give us more options in this format.
I feel like with Tapus run the format?
They would definitely centralize it.
100%, bro.
Like, imagine Iron Hands with Coco. That shit would go hard.
Bro, please, man.
That shit would go crazy. And you throw the bundle. You
can't even go to sleep. Amoongus would just...
That's what I'm saying.
Go.
I mean, it would force the opponent to run, their own terrains, their own Tapus. It would definitely centralize the metagame a little too much. So let's not go there.
Yeah, PTSD here, bro. Tapu Bulu, bro. Tapu Bulu?
Who's that guy?
That guy hits hard, bro.
Rillaboom was better than Tapu Bulu.
The streets are saying Tapu Fini was the best Tapu. That's all I'm saying.
Yo. That's debatable, bro. It's between
100% debatable. Coco was definitely the best.
Yeah, Coco was mad.
That's what Coco was the guy.
Coco was
Lele was fun to use, bro. I loved Scarf Lele back in the day, man.
Lele was broken, dude.
Lele used to do some damage.
Yeah, Specs Lele used to hit like a truck.
Yo, you know what's to hit like a truck, bro? Nature's Madness, bro.
Yo, facts, bro. And that's the thing, this format, do we have any good like honestly, the deal with Pokemon like Garganacl, moves like Super Fang, Nature's Madness would be great, but the premier like Super Fang user is Mousehold, and right now Mousehold's not looking as hot as it did in Series 1.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring Mousehold back, bro.
It might happen, bro. It's still a good mon.
I still think Friendguard is such a good ability. Like it's because we're seeing a lot of bulky offensive teams now. So like if you want to throw a Mousehold on there with Friendguard, you're only helping yourself. Imagine you have screens with Friendguard.
Don't give any ideas. Bro. I'm not trying to play that. I'm not trying to play that Orlando. Can we pause this upload until after Orlando? Because I'm not trying to play that, bro.
Yeah, Loki, bro, we're giving out way too many gems right now. Hold
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
But we're not about the gatekeeping. We're not about the gatekeeping.
No.
You deserve that.
If they made it this far, they deserve the information.
Yo,
100%.
you're right.
That's a good point.
100%.
That's a good point right there.
I
mean, we covered a lot so far. So we covered Liverpool, we covered Orlando. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
No, I mean, I think we had a great episode today. You know, we talked about the rental team situation and
Drake.
Yo, Drizzy. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, if I fuck up my team sheet again though, I'm blasting Marvin's room. Meet me in the hotel room, bro.
No way.
100%. I'm gonna chill in the hotel. I'm not even gonna play this time if I fuck up again.
No, are you gonna drop before round 1, bro?
I'm dropping before round 1. Go to Disney. Fuck that shit, bro.
Yo, Disney's gonna be a vibe. Yo, whoever wants to come out to Disney when we're in Orlando, hit our lines.
I'm saying, yo, if we don't cut, bro, Sunday we out.
Yeah, we out. We're gonna have a good time regardless.
But unfortunately, I'm gonna be in cut, so
yeah, it's gonna suck.
You know, but
hey, look, when I was in Worlds in 2008, I got bodied first round. And then I hit Disney World, and it was a vibe. I had a good time. So I kind of don't want to repeat that experience. I kind of want to just win the tournament, but you know,
hey,
we're at Disney World. We're at Disney World, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Either way, it's a win-win. That's the one thing with these tournaments. Don't think of it as just like a Pokemon tournament you're going to. You have to win. Have fun with it. Like Ray and I, when we were in San Diego, we had a great time after the tournament. We went out, had some drinks with some goons.
Shout out our boys, Brian.
That's what I'm saying. Kazi Brian, they were a great time. Even Justin Karras, bro. We had some shots with that dude. Logan Castro. You know how it is. But and then the next day, bro, we saw this amazing magic show, bro. That show was crazy.
Oh, dude. So we what was that place called?
Yeah, we were at Balboa Park. Like, if you've ever been to San Diego, that's definitely on your list of places to check out. It's a great park, lots of things to do. The San Diego Zoo's over there. I might be uploading a TikTok later this week of my San Diego stuff, so check that out if you want to see that. You know, a little self plug right there. But anyways, we're at Balboa Park. We got some little drinky drinks. What we have? Some passion fruit teas, some shit like that.
Yeah, you put me on some passion fruit teas, and
it was refreshing.
It was very refreshing.
And we stroll around the park, and then we see some dude, you know, gathering a crowd. You know,
we caught him at the right time too, right at the beginning.
Yeah, right at the beginning. He was just getting started. And when I said this guy did some amazing shit, bro, he made me believe in magic, bro.
I was mind blown. I was like, wait, there's no way this isn't real magic right now.
That's what I'm saying.
If I was high for that shit, bro, I would have been, I would have been cooked, bro. I'd been like, what the fuck am I watching right now? Dude, that was crazy, and we Venmo'd him after because it was that good.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You got to tip the artist.
Yeah, he had the Venmo. He had the Venmo like that.
Yeah, the Venmo.
He had a sign.
He had a sign. Oh no.
He was like, I got cash, and he's like, but if you don't have cash, he flipped out the side. Boom, he had the Venmo. I was like, yo, this man is prepared, bro.
That was good though. I didn't mind giving him my cash. That was good.
That's what I'm saying. That was great. We had some good food. So yeah, like in Orlando, if you're playing the tournament Saturday, that's cool. But hopefully it doesn't run super late, so you could go out Saturday night, or you know, hit up Disney or Universal on Sunday if you don't make cut. You know, try to make the most of your experience. You're traveling. Don't do it just for Pokemon. Do it for a good time. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, so with that, guys, I think we're going to close today's episode. Thank you for, making it this far if you're still here with us. And definitely comment down below. Let us know, what you like, what you want to see more of, who you want to see. As we said, we're going to keep the podcast a little bit more open. Still cover Pokemon content, but keep it a little bit more free-flowing as well. And the next episode will be in 2 weeks, and I believe that will be after the Orlando regionals. Which Rayad and Ant will be attending. So definitely look out for the next episode. We're gonna have a lot of spicy, war stories to cover. So yeah. Until next time, TM87 out.
Peace.
Later.